Why are you going to leave us? Yeah, that type of thing. So, Cleveland hasn't won a title since '64, and the fact that the best player in the world at the time and still decided to leave, it was like, okay, here we had something good, and now it's gone. So all that stuff they're talking about how he left, you're right. They were pissed either way he would have left.
I heard he had like $1 billion impact on the economy when he left and when he got back. Is that a pretty accurate number? Do you know that for sure?
I don't know it for sure, but he definitely had a significant impact. If you just talk to some of the restaurant owners downtown and near the arena, I remember when he first left, and there were times you couldn't get a table, when there were Cavs games or when LeBron was in town, and they would all tell you how their business had gone down since he wasn't there. Now that he's back, those same restaurants that were losing money, there's lines outside. There's before the game, there's people in the restaurants. During the game, they're in the restaurants. After the game, they're in the restaurants and the bars all along Cleveland. So he's had a major impact on the economic development in Cleveland.
Now, Branson, we've had several spirited conversations about one Matthew Dellavedova right here on this show.
He means he yelled at me. That's what he means. He yelled at me.
No. First of all, because we're here in Atlanta, we're based out of Atlanta, and Dellavedova got the rap here in Atlanta by Hawks fans as being a dirty player, right? I said I thought he was a scrappy player, a hustle player, and even in these NBA finals, people still have been giving him a bad rap. And yeah, I did yell at Mike following Game 3. I did. I will admit that I yelled at him. But what is the overall perception of Matthew Dellavedova amongst the Cavs nation?
Oh, please. There's LeBron, and then there's Delly.
That don't even sound right.
and why no one has come up with some T-shirts in Cleveland, I don't know. Because if somebody would have came up with some T-shirts, they would have made so much money. And I compare it a lot to Jeremy Lin.
I did too.
And how Jeremy Lin mania, and how Jeremy Lin financially benefited from all the mania and basically fooled the Houston Rockets. And Delly is up also at the end of this season. Now, if somebody is foolish enough to give him a max contract, I don't think that's going to happen. But if they're foolish enough to do it, then here we go again with fooling these GMs just because of somewhat hype. But you ask a Cavs fan, put it like this. This is how bad it is. You even have some Cavs fans that are saying that Delly is as important as LeBron.
Outstanding.
And Delly,
outstanding.
And Delly may be the real MVP of the finals. That's how crazy people are about Delly.
So by proxy, Matthew Dellavedova is Kevin Durant's mama. By proxy,
absolutely.
the real MVP. Absolutely. Okay, this is Sports Kings Live. Big Mike, Rob Calloway, the third voice you're hearing is our guy Branson Wright from the Cleveland Plain Dealer. He covers the Cleveland Browns, but before doing that, he covered the Cleveland Cavaliers. You mentioned earlier, you said your radio show. I'm not hip to that. Go ahead and promote your radio show real quick before I ask you this next question.
Oh, man, it's the Sports Brothers, the Sports Brothers. I know we have some Sports Brothers in Florida, which were cool. We could have more than just one set of Sports Brothers.
Absolutely.
We have the same situation.
right. Yeah, there's enough brothers to go around, So, but our show may be similar to your situation that we're not consistent as far as being on the air because of the good old advertising dollar. But we happen to have had a show today, but when we're full fledged, we're on Fridays in Cleveland on 1490 AM, newstalkcleveland.com. Myself and Delvis Valentine, and it's a pretty good show. We have pretty good guests. We have fun. Just similar to you, brothers.
My man. All right, so I heard Mike Tirico always gives me some little, like, just think about this type things. He said on Dan Patrick's show, if the Cleveland Cavs were to win this series, he said forget about waiting until LeBron retires. Put the statue up now. Yeah, that's ill, right? And I initially I thought about it and I was like, but wait.
Hey,
but I was like, come on. This might be the thing.
Mike, stop.
What?
Hey, Branson, Dominique Wilkins has a statue outside of Phillips Arena.
Oh, he does. That's true. This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. It's like an inside joke, dude.
And he should. And I love me, so he should. No argument for me.
But yeah, well, what do you think about that? What do you think about Mike Tirico throwing that out there?
Dude, he's right.
Oh, no, look, 'cause at first when you hear it, it takes you back a little bit, but then you think about it, it's like, if he wins a championship with Matthew Dellavedova and J.R. Smith on the same team, forget about the other dudes, just those two dudes. Yeah, he should be immortalized forever.
Hey, so somebody at the barbershop put it this way. They said, if he wins the title this year, he will go from being a king to a god in Cleveland.
Wow. Oh, okay. So on the other side of it, what if he loses? On the other side, what's happening? I guess in the environment of Cleveland.
See you next year.
That's it.
See you next year. You had all these injuries. Anderson Varejao was hurt. Kevin Love was out, and Kyrie was out. Mm-hmm. See you next year. I mean, that's be the rallying cry.
So LeBron can't lose then.
Can't lose. I mean, he's playing with house money. The way I see it, let's say the Cavs lose. Let's say if they lose it in Cleveland, and Golden State are crowned in Cleveland, I guarantee that the Cavaliers fans there will give the Cavs a standing ovation.
As well they should. As well they should.
As well as they should. And Cleveland has been hurt so many times before, but I think the pain this time would be, look, we shouldn't even have been there with all these injuries. It was a dream season. LeBron came back. That was the first championship. He actually came back, and his letter and what he said about this region. The fans, in fact, I'm sure there's going to be people that are writing books about this season, and they're going to sell out. It's been a dream season, and sometimes losing, sometimes you win. And I think in this case, the Cavs not winning it this year, if they don't win at all, they'll still end up winners.
Talking about T-shirts, you need to put that on the T-shirt.
Really?
Sometimes in losing, sometimes you win.
Yeah, that was awesome right there. That was like Eddie Rabbit motivational right there, boy.
And I always refer back with that to when Ali and Frazier fought the first time. Frazier won. He won the fight, but Ali won. Was still the people's champion.
Yeah.
He won the people. So he lost, but he actually won. And that's the situation with Cleveland right now.
Now, another guy I just want to ask you about during Cleveland is Timothy Mozgov. Of course, before he was with the Cavs, he was with the Denver Nuggets. Was that not a steal for Cleveland, getting the guy that has his ability?
Man, they're going to have to have an investigation. I mean, why? How Denver just let him go like that? And I knew he was pretty good, but he was exactly what the Cavs needed. They didn't have a big body. They didn't have a long body. And Anderson Varejao played center, but he's not a center. He's a power forward, and he's really a guy come off the bench. So the fact that they got the center that they needed, a long body, it was just a great deal. And Griffin, the GM, I'm sure he got some votes for GM of the year because he did an excellent job with some big trades.
It's Sports Kings Live. Big Mike, Rob Calloway on the line right now with Branson Wright of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Make sure you guys are following him on Instagram and Twitter, at Branson Wright, BransonWright. This is going to be my last question about the Cavs, and it's a simple one. I'm going to ask you, head over heart, how does this series end?
Well, before the series, I picked the Cavs in 7. when Kyrie got hurt, I changed my mind. I thought, I said, man, that's just going to be so tough. Then when they won without him, I said, oh boy, okay, maybe they got something here and how they slowed the game down. But last night, the way they won, and how I think the Cavs are just starting to run out of gas, even though they got a couple of days rest. Right now I'm leaning with Golden State winning.
Going 7, 6? What are we talking about here?
6.
Ooh. That felt like that sounded like it hurt, dude. That sounded like it hurt.
So they're gonna win 3 in a row. 3 in a row.
Yeah.
They gonna win. So they gonna win the next 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I'm so glad to be talking to you because now some sensibility is being brought to the show. Because I've been telling people for like 3 rounds now. It's a simple concept. When dudes that make shots eventually make shots, it's going to be a problem when you got JR. Like, everyone should have known. When JR pulled into the stadium on a hovercraft, yep, JR is going JR. JR is about to JR tonight, baby. The bad way. And he did. 0 for 8 from the 3. Yeah, give me all of that.
Yes. Yes.
All right, let's move on to the to Cleveland Browns. Not the Cleveland Browns, but you know what I want to ask you about. Your man, Johnny Manziel. Like now I'm hearing like he's on some old I need a babysitter type stuff. I need to go live around old people. The Cleveland Browns are saying we're not changing our offense not one bit. To me, that sounds like an indictment on the quarterback you picked in the first round last year. We're not doing anything different for that guy. And the word had come out that Mike Pitton has pretty much given up on him. What are you hearing?
I'll be surprised if I'll be shocked if he won't be the starting quarterback this year. I mean that's not going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Manziel is let go. Even as early as training camp, if depending on if some of the other guys emerge as far as the other quarterbacks, I think they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt because the excuse now is, well, he was at the alcoholism, which is real, and he went to rehab and he's gone through that. He's over that. So if that was the problem, okay, then we're going to see in training camp. We're going to see in these preseason games. Was it that, or is it that you're just not an NFL starting quarterback?
Which one is it? To you, which one is it?
I want to see two. I think, in my heart of hearts, I don't think he is. But again, as far as the alcoholism, was that a factor? And but the thing that's what it was. So that's what it was. It was alcoholism. That was the reason. It was just alcohol. The reason he went to rehab. Well, we don't know. Yeah, that's why he went to rehab. But and I'm also referring to that we don't know if that affected his play. Apparently it did, but we'll actually see how much. So now you're clean, and you're going to be in training camp, and you're going to play in some preseason games. All right, let's see. Then the only excuse then would be you're just not a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what was he doing? Was he like old school, like had a bottle of whiskey in his locker or something?
Man,
coming out on
he was just one of those young cats, man, just out at the club. In fact, where he stayed in where a few players are staying. It's a hotel and it's a condo, and then there's a bar and there's bars there and clubs, and and he was always there. He was going out, drinking, partying, and doing things that maybe you should just do in the off season. He was doing it during the season. And you're trying to study a playbook, and you're trying to get acclimated into the NFL. All of this money they're paying you, and you're just out here having a good time and not playing well on the field. Something is wrong. So it just comes down to the Browns. Okay, all right, you went to rehab, you got over that. All right, come into training camp. Here's the playbook. Let's see what you got. If it doesn't work out this time, then we're going to have to look for something else.
All right, let's talk about the other first round pick, the actual first round pick.